it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you for joining me again today. Today I have got a project for you which, when I made the original, the Feels Like Frost paper was in stock. We are expecting some more to come in fairly soon, but currently it is out of stock, so I thought I would make it a different way. However, this is the one I made earlier. Bear with me while I just take the lid off. And you can see it's got lovely paper all the way round. And it's an explosion box. And in the middle is a lint snowman. But I've used all the papers that I could. Well, I've used a lot of the papers from the first frost. And it all just closes up again. And then you can pop your little snowman back in and pop the lid on. However, as I say, not in stock at the moment, so I have already started with a Santa, one using the Christmastime is Here designer series paper, which is the Get It While You Can. It's gorgeous. It goes beautifully with cherry cobbler, which is why I've chosen the cherry cobbler. This is probably Poppy Parade, which it would also go with, but for some reason I decided to go cherry cobbler. So cherry cobbler it is. So I've got the patterns on one side and the foil patterns on one side and the unfoiled on the other. I will give you all of the measurements on my website. I'm going to just make the bigger bit and the lid together with you, just because it's basically the same process the whole way through. And I've just remembered I didn't bring over the ribbon, which would be useful. Okay, right, so the first piece, I'll whiz through the measurements. So the smallest piece for this particular, oh no, I'm not going to use Santa, I'm going to use another snowman. And the reason I'm not going to use Santa is because Santa is taller than the snowmen. I have lots of little snowmen here, so I'll just cut the one that has got the red off. This is not the one with the red, this is probably Melon Mambo. Just as well I checked, that would have been even more embarrassing when I came to put the whole thing together and wondered why it wouldn't fit. So let's take our little snowman, which will fit, and go with that. So for the smallest one, I've got a square that is 5 3/4. This is 6 1/2, and the one I'm going to do now is 7 1/2. You score at 2 1/4 inches on each side, because that is the height of the box. So I've done all the scoring, because you really don't need to see me scoring, I'm sure. And then all I've got to do is grab a larger pair of scissors and just cut away all of the corners, including the score line. You don't want the score line as part of what you're keeping. You want to get rid of that. So just keep going all the way round. You do unfortunately need 3 pieces of cherry cobbler A4 paper, or card I suppose I should say. I did try and work it out for smaller, or for less card, but I can't get caught into a pint pot, unfortunately. But you do end up with some very usable pieces for die cutting, and one of the pieces you can use for the lid. So it is only a piece for each of the base, and the smallest one you can also use for the lid. So that's those done. Let me just snip that bit away. And while I'm in snipping mode, my lid is 5 1/16, and it is scored at 1 inch. And the reason it's 5 1/16 is so that it actually fits on the box. The box is 3 inches square on the base, so that's what we're sorry, my brain is not with me. So I need an extra inch plus a bit. So this is actually 3 1/16. Now for this, you're just making tabs out of your corners by wedging as you go around, and I am going kind of Catherine wheel style. And then I'll stick everything on at the same time, and then we can make up the box lid. But while I've got my glue out, I thought I might as well stick everything on at once. That's my theory anyway. So for those of you who do like my chat, and I know that's most of you, it's a grey day in South Oxfordshire today. We've still got digging works going on outside the house. I think we're going to just have to accept that. Right, let me just grab my bits of paper. Don't need those scissors anymore. So this is the paper for the inner. All I've done is cut 1/8 of an inch smaller on each side. So this is 3 inches by 2 1/4. So I've cut 2 7/8 by 2 1/8 as the piece. And I've done that twice, so I've got both back and front. And the same applies for the other pieces, which I will put the dimensions, as I say, on my website, and that is linked below. So while I am sticking all of this on, and I am going to use liquid adhesive because it's quite tight. So yes, we did have a village meeting with the developers earlier this week, and I think they were trying to do a kind of PR thing. I don't think they succeeded terribly well, but anyway. So we're just going to wait and see what happens now. The local planners have got some issues as well, or certainly the local county council, so hopefully it will be amended a little bit. But we still have our mini hill outside the kitchen window, which I guess we're just going to get used to. So as I say, it's a grey day. I am sort of I'm back from onstage mode, although saying that, when you see this, I will be at a weekend retreat, scrapbooking. So that will be fun. This is a group of us who get together twice a year just to catch up and scrapbook. Yeah, because I don't get to do enough scrapbooking these days. So it's really nice to meet up with some old friends who were local to me when I still lived in West London. And yeah, we get together twice a year. And it's this weekend. So I have some photos printed out. And guess what? Most of them are from onstage. So I will be doing some onstage scrapbooking. I will also be prepping my December daily, because we're nearly there. We're nearly at December daily time. I don't know about you, but I do love doing my December daily. I do have to remember to actually take photographs, because that's always a plan. Because if you don't take the photographs, you can't really do your daily. So having a phone does help, because of course we can take photos on our phones these days. Right, so that's that piece done. All I need to do is then adhere this piece to the middle of it. Pop my little snowman out of the way. And all I've done is just scribble some more glue on that. Don't go too near to the corners, because you are going to probably want to move it around a bit. Then I open it out, put it diagonally. Actually, I'm going to not open it out. I'm going to put it diagonally and hope for the best first. And then, with all the pieces down, you want to wiggle it until all of the sides are even. So I want to go that way a bit. And I know it's not, scientific, but it kind of works. And then you can check that you are inside your larger square. Push from the back, and there we have our exploding box, all ready to take our snowman and have a lid. So let's start on the lid. Again, I've already cut pieces. The inches are one deep. The sides are one inch deep. So I'm cut my paper rather, at 7/8 of an inch, and they're 3 inches and 1/16 wide. So I've cut them at 2 15/16 long, if you see what I mean, so that we're looking for a 1/16 of an inch gap all the way round. And again, as I say, all the measurements will be on my website, so you don't have to madly rush to write them down, because I will get all that done for you. Okay. Where are we time-wise? 11 minutes. At the point where you're watching this, what's the date now? We still have the online extravaganza going. That finishes tomorrow. Today, your time. Tomorrow, my time. So do make the most of that. All of the neutrals, in colours, and regals are available to purchase at up to 15% off. So it's a great deal. Now, I'm just going to find the middle of my piece of paper. The only ink pad that is not available on the deal is Purple Posy, because as we know that didn't come up to Stampin' Up's exacting standards, so it's no longer available. Okay, so having found the middle, carefully pierce a hole, and when I say carefully I mean don't pierce a hole in your fingers. And then I've taken it from the front as well, and just make sure I've got a decent sized hole. Then grab a piece of this lovely shimmer ribbon. Snips, there we go. Snips would be good. So yes, regals, neutrals, in colours, all up to 15% off, and 8 bundles are also up to 15% off. Bundles are already 10% off, and basically it's been they've been bumped up to 15% off on the 8 that are included, and they are from the annual catalogue, including Petals and Parcels, Parcels and Petals, which is the one with that lovely box die, which is great for gift giving. And it's Christmas, so why wouldn't we do some gift giving with a die? I think I'll probably be using that again next week, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But I have got other projects available where I've used that. So do have a look and be tempted by that. Okay, so tear and tape on each of the ends of the ribbon, and then just stick that down. And then I am going to stick another piece over the top of both of the ends, just so that it's all well and truly stuck down. So I want that to be straight-ish, and then just pull the ribbon so that you know you've got all of the bulk out of the bottom, and then grab another piece of tear and tape and pop that over the top, because that will help reinforce everything. And then peel that off. Easier said than done. My hands are freezing and I just can't get anything to work. Oh, come along, this is ridiculous. There we go. And then just add some adhesive to your box. And pop your paper on. There we go. And then adhesive on the edges. You could use tear and tape. I wouldn't recommend snail because I don't think it's going to be tough enough for the card. And then when I'm using liquid adhesive, I kind of smush it and then open it up a bit. It tends to dry quicker that way. So smush, open up, and then pop it down. It really just means that you've got two almost dry bits that you're putting together, which then makes them stick better or faster. And then just tuck the last one in, smush it and take it apart, and then put it back together again. And then just grab your bone folder to make sure that you've got those very nicely pushed down. Bring in your box. Pop all the bits up. Come on, there we go. Pop your snowman in, and then, keeping your fingers firmly crossed that everything fits, there is your little exploding box. And you just need to pull the lid off and it all comes apart. Now you could, if you want, put some glue dots on the bottom of your snowman just to keep it all in one piece. But there we go. There are my two little exploding boxes. I hope you've enjoyed that. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. As I say, all the measurements are on my website, which is linked below. So go and take a look at those. And all the products will also be listed below and on my website. Close-up photos as ever. If you've enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't subscribe, the subscription button is in the bottom right-hand corner. Remember, when you shop with me, if you use the host code, you get to share in the host rewards, which is always fun. And I hope to see you again very soon. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye!